Hey everybody, Lauren Kalil with Morning Chalk up here. Today on our show, we have CrossFit Games athlete Sean Sweeney, also the CrossFit Cowboy. How's it going, Sean?
Hey, doing really well. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's
And
great to have you. You
wherever she is over here.
you got a lot of animals in that house. How many? Two cats, three dogs.
Two cats and three dogs. That's it. Nothing crazy.
Is it hard to keep track of them all?
Nah, they all have some pretty insane names, but yes, we can keep track
Oh,
of them. Well,
what are
so
their names?
uh, so we got Abby, and she goes by Shrimp Trumpet, which is very reasonable. Then we have Pepper that goes by Penis. And then we have Maze, which her full name is Mazakine Stanislaus Sweeney. So no big deal.
Whoa.
Pretty normal names.
Who named them? You or Emily?
It's a combination. They kind of just happens. So it just happens, and they have some weird ass names. And that's just the way it goes.
That's why we have animals, though. We have to have fun with them, and they can't disagree on their names. So it's better than doing that to a kid.
That's right. Yeah, that penis is a weird thing to call your female dog, and but now everyone that knows us pretty much just accepts it at this point.
They just understand that that's the nickname that you gave them.
Yeah. So as far
You've
as
been pretty busy.
yes, it has. It's been honestly the most busy couple months, a whole or year or summer or whatever of our life. It was nutty from pretty much from it was from May. I guess if you can probably include the Open in there in the
Okay.
quarterfinals. But at the start of the year, we only had like I want to say we only had like 2 or 3 free weekends the entire year, and that goes all the way through. Like it's just nutty. It's just nuts. So we had a lot going on, which is a good thing. No complaints whatsoever.
Yeah.
But yeah, between after the semifinals and then games prep and
Hmm.
wedding planning and the wedding, and then everybody's getting married. So all my friends' weddings, and then our bachelor and bachelorette parties, buddies' weddings, our wedding, CrossFit stuff. It's been an awesome year. It's been damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then
Congratulations too on, recently having the wedding and you've been traveling. How do you like keep moving? This is your off season, but you have been busy.
I've been busy. So pretty much after the games, which was kind of a real bummer of a games for me this year, of just kind of how that all got pretty sick right before the games, which was a real bummer. But pretty much right after that, I didn't train. I trained no more than like 3 days in a row for a couple of months. So there was just like we'd train a couple of days, but then we were going to another wedding or had some sort of thing going on that we were traveling for, which was like I said, like no complaints. It was cool. It was a lot of fun, but it's really nice to be back in a pretty normal swing of things now, for sure.
Do, for the most part, do you enjoy the off season or do you start to get that itch to get back into routine and training and nutrition and all of the things that come with being a professional athlete?
So I guess there isn't really a crazy off season. Typically take like 1 or 2 days off after the games, and then that's pretty much it. But this year is a little different. So yeah, I've been enjoying it now, and so yes, we have a change of pace coming up for sure.
And as you mentioned, obviously the CrossFit Games this year, the season didn't really end the way that you would have hoped or even anticipated. You put out there on your social media that it was severe allergies that you were dealing with, and that ultimately led you to having to withdraw. Have you ever experienced severe allergies to the point where it prevents you from, working out and, working out as intense as you do at the games?
Oh yeah, it wasn't allergies. So yeah, I don't
Oh,
know. I don't know how I must have communicated that wrong on social media somehow, because everyone's like, "Man, you had allergies." Like, yeah, I had allergies too, for sure. But No, so I on Monday I rented this. We typically like at the games we'll rent a RV or a toy hauler or some sort of RV to stay in at the games, to stay on site there. And so we rented this trailer. And the first night we stayed in it on Monday night, I had some crazy ass allergic reaction. We woke up in the middle of the night, throat was closing, head was swollen up, couldn't breathe. Like, got out of there, went and stayed in a buddy's hotel. And then Em and my buddy John just full blown, just like bleached and stripped and did everything in that trailer. And so I thought then that I had that, and then I felt like I was having allergies on like Tuesday. I just felt like I had gnarly allergies, but not a big deal. And then Wednesday I woke up and I still felt like same thing, like got gnarly allergies, but that's no big deal. And during the events, I just felt odd. I felt like I had absolutely no gas, and I felt like I was like couldn't breathe. And I mean, obviously that happens with CrossFit, side effect, can't freaking breathe, but very different. It was very different. Like I was struggling for air, way different than typical. And I just felt like I was really sucking ass at the events. And then especially the one with the muscle up event with had the million the pig flips and the muscle ups there. I was kind of hoping, like, I thought that workout was going to be, a top couple for me. That's definitely a good workout for me. So I was really looking forward to that one. And then I just absolutely shit the bed. And I was just like, what is happening? Like, I feel like I wasn't necessarily like, as a competitor or as somebody who's doing that, when you just had a bad game plan or you were being a little bit of a bitch or whatever it may be. I was like, man, I did everything that I could. I just felt like I felt very, very off. And then the next event was the the wall walk thruster event. I just legitimately felt like I was drowning. Like I have so I don't have asthma or anything now, but when I was a kid, I used to have asthma pretty bad. And so I felt like something of that nature, to where there was just breathing was no longer an option and everything was kind of shut down. It was crazy. And after that event, I was just like, I think there's something fucked up. Like, this ain't right. And I was jacked up for a long time after that event. And I thought that I was just having a rough day still. And then my wife was like, I would think there's something wrong with him. And I didn't. And me and my coach both were like, no, we think we just had a really rough day for whatever reason. And then when I woke up on Thursday, it was freight train, could barely get out of bed, just absolutely hosed. So ended up having a sinus infection, a upper respiratory infection, and the flu, which the flu still exists, believe it or not, in 2021.
Even if people don't believe it.
Got hammered like with everything. And I was jacked up. And then I tried that. I was like, okay, well, I'm here. Like, I got it. Maybe the adrenaline will get me going on Friday on that first workout. And I just did everything I could to go. And I was like, in the warm-up area, I failed picking up a 100-pound sandbag, which, let's just say, is
for you, that's not
exactly real.
Something's wrong.
and I couldn't get the skier below like a 215, and I had and I was like panicking, couldn't breathe. I was just like, I was fucked up, pretty good. And so then I went out and I was like, well, I got to at least try this event. Like, I'm not gonna not do this event. And then so I ended up finishing that event, and then I just like it was body shut down after that. And so medical team, we just kind of didn't pull it out that way. So I really sucked. I never had to withdraw like that. So it was a real bummer, especially I guess this is kind of the release news. So that was my last CrossFit Games. So yeah, that was going to be my last year.
What?
Yeah, it was going to be my last year. So I was really feeling good about it this year. I think that I had one of the best performances of my career at that West Coast Classic. It was a super kind of competitive event there. And I felt like I really performed well at some events that are typically not my wheelhouse. Ended up doing really well. and felt like I was in the best shape that I've been in. And so I was planning on making this pretty much my last year. It's been my plan for quite a while. And I was really hoping to go out with a good finish this year at the big games. And it didn't
Oh,
go.
that breaks my heart for you.
Yeah, it was a little bittersweet, but I mean, then again, it's still getting there and being able to have that experience, even though it wasn't exactly what I wanted, is still pretty special. Not a lot of people get to do that, so got to keep the glass half full there a little bit. But so the reason, I guess, okay, so long, give you we'll just go the full little summary. Goal has never been to win the CrossFit Games. I think that a lot of times you'll see athletes, competitors say, hey, if your goal isn't to win, then what are you doing there? And I think that's a ridiculous way to frame it, is like, if you expect yourself to be the number one in the world, you need to be doing everything in your power to be number one in the world. And you have to dedicate your entire life to that, to do this. And that's just not something that I was ever been willing to do. As far as, we own the gym and online program, and we don't have any employees. So him and I do everything. We coach every single class, clean the toilets, do all the book work, all the programming. Like, we do everything, and we love it. So I was never a priority to give up that to be able to train full time. And that's okay. Like that was 100%. I love it. I love coaching and helping other people is absolutely my passion. I happen to be decent at fitness, but I really
you're more than decent.
I really like helping other people find their passion for that, and just everyday people. Games athletes are all cool and all, but I don't necessarily care to work with them too much. But just everyday people who just want to be in better shape. That is mine and M's entire life. So as we got going to this, like, okay, well, we both own this gym in Fallon, Nevada, which we live in a little small town of 8,000 people in the city. So it's not like you're exactly in a boom town where you're going to make $1 million with a CrossFit gym. But so the goal was to be able to build the brand and gain some recognition, some validity, and build the brand to then be able to go forward with our online program and be able to influence have our net be a much bigger than just our spot here in Fallon. So I didn't really know what that looked like. How many years would I be competing at the games? Could I even make the games before this journey really started? Like, just making it is not a given for anybody. I mean, that's a pretty significant deal. So it ended up going really well. And I just turned 30 this year, and we just got married, and we're starting to work on the whole kids thing and all that jazz. So it's just time to shift those gears, is, having that training as the amount that I was to be able to perform at that level, and the money, because like this year I won a grand total of $3,000. And let's just say it didn't cost $3,000. It cost about 10 times that. So it's just like, already don't make much money at the gym, and I don't do really like sponsorships. I have one sponsor, and it's not like that's a lucrative sponsorship for as far as like supporting training and stuff. It's not like people coming and knocking down my door saying, hey, here's $1 million, would you support our brand? But that's also something I've been extremely choosy with, as trying to grow our personal brand is not going to just be a bullshitter and peddle stuff for $1,000 a month, So with all of that, it was just kind of the time, the money, and it was like, I'm ready. I was really ready this year. I was kind of getting burnt out on training. And not necessarily because I don't like training, but just like not being able to pursue other things, like with this with the online program or Cowboy Way, and really be able to go chase that. It's something we really, really want to do. And it was just kind of time. So after we got settled in after the wedding and the honeymoon and all that jazz, we've been going kind of full force of course, we always got more stuff going. We remodeled this bus. We're renting out this bus. We bought a tiny home.
Oh yeah, it looks awesome.
And we're not going to really do much with that, but just kind of redoing that. And we always have little side projects we're doing, which is kind of fun. But I've been now I'm training with other humans, which is crazy. It's amazing. And I'm just doing our program. So I just do the Cowboy Way, and that, that program in entirety is a relatively, it's a full program, and it would take, anywhere from 2 to 3 hours, depending on how much you bullshit in between your little sessions. But I'm not doing the full thing. I'll come and do like the nuts and bolts of it. Some days, if I feel good and I have time, I'll do more of it. But I love training again. So it's really cool to do fitness because you want to, not because you have to. Mm. And I'm willing to bet that I'll stay in similar shape to what I have been, just because I love to train. And then I can really focus on getting out there and growing the Cowboy Way. So we just did last weekend. We had our first ever booth at an event, and went to an event. We were, just interacting with people and getting people interested in the program and selling some t-shirts, which Em and I make all of our t-shirts. We hand make all our t-shirts, weed all the damn vinyl out. And
that's a process in itself.
Yeah. So we do everything ourselves, which is really cool. It's time consuming, but it's cool because it's all us. And now I can really put time into doing that. So we'll get on the road, and we're starting to plan out our 2022 first year of starting to go to gyms and have training days with local gyms, and just like go work out with people and put them through our program and coach them through and work out with them and hang out and have fun and just get out there in the community and really get there with the people who just share time with people who love doing what we do. So I'm really excited to shift gears that way. But long story short, this off season has been different because I'm not going to be chasing the games train. But you better believe that I will still be involved in competitions. Is like, just because you're not competing in the CrossFit Games doesn't mean that, if I want to do, which I'm not going to do any high level competitions this year. But let's say like Wadapalooza or Rogue or whatever.
Yep.
And, okay, I'm going to go do that competition, and I'll train, real hard and peak for a couple months before that event, hit that event hard, and then can go back to shifting focus to things instead of all year on. Because as a games athlete, your on season is like November till August, and some people take a bigger season. Depending on what your job and how you support your family and whatnot is, but that's a lot. So being able to kind of shift it is going to be, I'm really excited for that.
Okay. That was going to be my next question though, is will we still see you at some of these, off season CrossFit competitions? Okay. So it's good to know, not this year, but the following year.
Yeah. So this year, and I won't even write it off. I have to reach out to Wadapalooza. They invited me to go this year. I'm not going to do that this year, but coming up in the next, who knows, in the next 12 months from today, I will sure have, go to a major competition, I'm sure. Because I love competing, and that's amazing. There's nothing like that. And just being done, not chasing the CrossFit Games is very different than being done competing. And I think that I will, but on that same note is, you better believe I'm doing the Masters. So I'm 30, I have like 5 years, and some people are like, a lot of individual guys are like, no, I would never do the Masters. I think the Masters are awesome, and I plan on competing in the Masters until I drop. So.
Okay, so then we'll plan to see you at the CrossFit Games.
30 times games athlete. Who knows? I'll go till I can. In that, but just because that's a very different, as much as the Masters are incredibly competitive, there's nothing, that's no doubt. There's certainly a different level of time commitment and between those two, and especially when you've been doing this as long as I have. I've been doing it for, actually this month was a decade, so 10 years I've been doing this now. And so
a long time.
So much of competing in CrossFit is mastering skills and learning how to move effectively and getting your game plan down. And there's so much sport-specific stuff that goes into it, to where it's not like I've got it mastered, but it's very different to continue to maintain those skills and ability level.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very different process than building them in the first place. So I think that I'll be able to, for an indefinite amount of years, physically. I mean, I feel like this year was the most fit I've been in my life. And I've been doing this for 10 years. I wasn't better 3 years ago. I'm much better now than I was last year. So, yeah, that's kind of what the competition is going to look like for me coming up.
Okay, so in 5 years from now, we can potentially expect to see you back at the CrossFit Games.
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely be at the Masters for sure. You can count on it.
Okay, good. We'll be waiting for that. In the meantime, though, when you think about, what your goals were competing at the CrossFit Games in comparison to now you have separate goals when it comes to the business that's growing, where do you see taking your company? What's the ultimate goal or plan that you have, you and your wife, Emily?
So here's why the Cowboy Way. The Cowboy Way is going to be I've been doing it for 2 years now. I just haven't been pushing it. It's been available. I do all the programming for all of our athletes anyways. And before I even had it sold as an online option, I was doing it anyway. Mm-hmm. So this is something I've been doing for quite some time, but I've been programming like this for 6 years now. And so the difference between our program and other programs is it is actually fully ran by us. We're not outsourcing anything. There's no other coaches programming stuff. This is me entirely writing the program with help and feedback from Emily, which pretty much is a given for everything. But that's a big deal. The next big deal with it is that 20% of all of our revenue gets shoved into an athlete fund that then goes back to members in the form of equipment or travel to competitions or certifications, anything fitness health related that they may need. So right now, like I said, we just had last weekend, our first event of going out there and trying to get people involved in this. And so we only have like 60 people on our program as of right now. So, if you are paying $30 a month, so if you do the math, that's only a few $100 a month that goes into the athlete fund, which is better than nothing, but it's relatively small. As we grow, let's say that we have 1,000 members on Cowboy Way, and our gross revenue is $30,000 a month, and we can take 20% of that and kick it back into the members. Imagine being able to, send out 3 Echo bikes and a couple of rowers per month to people, or when one of our athletes qualifies in the scale division for Wadapalooza and lives in Wyoming and doesn't have the funds, and like, hey, can you help us out? And we fly them to Wadapalooza. Like that's the end goal, is to be able to give back and really support people who aren't elite level athletes, because nobody's doing that. And I think that sucks. So sure. I think for us, it's, elite level athletes, ultimately, there is no templated program, period, that someone should follow if their goal is to get to the CrossFit Games. That's just ridiculous. You need a coach that you talk to every single day. You need training written specifically for you. Once you reach a certain level, like there's, general skills that you have to master for everybody. But, if you're in that top 1%, you're not following a templated program, or else if you are, you're doing yourself a disservice. So that's not our target audience. Our target audience is still an incredibly fit group. Like I do our Cowboy Way training, and I promise you it's effective. And but our target audience is just the everyday person who loves fitness, likes to train, and wants to feel included. And that's what we're really trying to do with that. And I think they've given back in the form of money. I mean, putting your money where your mouth is. That's kind of one of the biggest things you can do to help people that way. So really excited to do that. And then just doing lots of going to gyms and doing training days and getting out there and really interacting with people. And on our app, in our programming, if you message on our programming, I've got my personal cell phone on there. You can instant message me and send me videos, and everything is 100% organically us. There is no paid robots or outsourced coaches and all that jazz. So that's kind of the vision with Cowboy Way and where we're going.
Well, it's awesome what you guys are doing. You have so many things going on. Definitely a different year compared to last year, but congratulations on the wedding and the retirement. That's awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, we'll call it a slight pause for a gear shift.
A slight pause until you become a master's. We got 5 years.
Yeah, I got some gray hairs coming in, but I ain't old and retired yet.
No, not yet. We look forward to seeing you then, and take care, and we'll be following you to see everything that you're going to be doing. You're going to do awesome.
Thanks. I appreciate it, Lauren.
Yep. Take care.